Moments Vieri then. So we've done Inzaghi, and to be honest, he managed to do alright. Vieri, very much the same sort of card. They're both coming in at the same sort of price. Vieri's just that little bit more expensive at the moment, coming in at about $280 on the Xbox, $250 on the PlayStation, and $298 on the PC, whereas I think Inzaghi's kind of trickling down to about $210 now, so he is a little bit more kind of cheaper. But again, Vieri does fluctuate in prices. He can go down to $250 or he can go to $300 depending on time of day and obviously what day in the week. We have got a 3-star, 4-star here, and it will be nice to kind of give that comparison in between Vieri and Inzaghi. Who's better? Left-footed, 6'1", medium. On Footbin at the end, we will do the comparison. So if you want to stay around and kind of stick to what this review is all about, make sure you leave that like and subscribe. And let's get into him then. So we have got, geez, he's been to a lot of clubs. Only a couple of years. Very much a journeyman indeed. We've got a lot of Serie A there. Did he venture out at all? Atlanta. Was that Monaco? So we've been in Ligue 1, been into La Liga, I can see there. That's about it. Oh, interesting. I've obviously not really known too much about him, but in general, been at quite a few clubs there. It seems like Inter was the longest stint he's kind of done there, really. In terms of his traits, we've got finesse and power header, which, again, not terrible indeed. Pace-wise, we definitely need that hunter, which will really kind of benefit him. But again, we've already got fantastic finishing, so it is a shame we can't really... Well, we could go with the engine. I think that is definitely something we could go with. I know on Footbin that's kind of what they've said, but again, we could actually kind of benefit more from the agility balance side of stuff. So if we do go into his finishing then, we've got 97 on the attacking positioning and finishing, as well as the 93 shot power, 90 long shots. We've got great reactions, ball control and composure on him for a 92 rated card coming in under 300k. Really can't argue, and very much like Inzaghi, 98 head and accuracy, which is fantastic, with great strength and a bit of stamina. I think if I was looking at the card, we've bought him with a hunter on. I like what they're trying to do and I get the plus 10 on the pace, but for somebody who's 6'1", having a plus 5, which will take him up to 90 pace, is probably going to be more beneficial with the agility balance going up, rather than trying to go all out for the plus 10 and not really getting the benefits of the shooting, because a plus 2 on his finishing is going to do nothing. It really isn't. He's already based at 97, so we're going to swap that round for the engine. I feel like it's going to be more beneficial for the passing, the dribbling, and obviously that pace side of stuff. It just is a -5 there. And again, like I say, shooting, you're not really going to notice the difference. So let's jump into him, whack the engine on, and see if he's worth 280. And is Inzaghi better? Vieri making the run as well. Neymar doing a lot of the work. Little over the top. Going to look what we can do. Give a hit and hope. It was never going in, really, let's face it. To Vieri, looking for the 1-2 if we can. Neymar's going to find it back into him. Tries to go across goal. A little bit of a rush shot. Was hoping maybe he was trying to block off the pass more so than obviously the kind of shot, thinking he probably wouldn't from there. Vieri going for the pace against Rudiger. This is where, what we got, 86 on his physicality. That's nice. Tries to ping a ball into Neymar, who tries to find the near post. It's very, very nice work off him there. Really shrugging off Rudiger very, very easily there, which again is a very hard thing to do with some strikers, especially, I believe, his honourable mentions, I want to say, which is a very, very strong and nice card. Wanting Vieri to make the run. Messi's going to find him, pings him. Goes for a hit and hope. Was kind of hoping he maybe gets a little bit more force behind that, but it is mainly because you naturally are not going to be able to sprint past everybody with Vieri. He is naturally the kind of slower striker, somebody who you kind of set up rather than kind of he sets himself up, and sometimes that works for people, especially with a kind of like a 2-striker formation. You're looking at a 4-4-2, which is a very, very common formation now. Seems to be one that's really made its return, rather than normally what I normally play with, the 4-3-2-1. I just don't think a striker that sort of size there would be as beneficial. Try and go for a header would have probably gone better with Neymar at the back there. But again, with Vieri, you use his strength. It's like anybody. You make sure that you hit them strengths, because you can see sometimes he can hit it from distance. He can have it and get them long shots in. He has got the finishing for it, as well as the positioning and all of that kind of good stuff that comes with having 94 shooting on the base. Oh, and that's nearly. Great save from De Gea. Vieri versus Desai. This is going to be the one. Try and pull it. It's a good ball in. Messi's not there, but Paqueta is in front of goal. Thank you very much. It's a lovely cross from Vieri, and Paqueta is ready to pounce. Looking for that run. Just can't separate a little bit more space between him and the defender. Finds it across, and what a save from Lafont. And that just shows you don't necessarily always need to have these 5 to 10 million strikers. They're incredible to play with, don't get me wrong. I would never really choose Vieri over R9, but I just mean that the kind of fun that you can have with some of these moments are actually brilliant to have these lower kind of priced. And you could almost build a team for, I think, what, 4 or 5 million? You could probably get a full team of moments, probably even cheaper than that, to be honest. Dink in, Vieri with a header. There it is. Lafont on the weak foot of Vieri, but he should be absolutely bagging that. And he gets the header, and it's miles over into Rosed. Vieri. Neymar down the wing. Got a foot birthday in pursuit. Little spin around him. Rolls it to Vieri. Vieri's going to go for a cross himself. And again, he's putting himself in there. I think that engine's doing an absolute wonders with that passing. Really, really decent on that crossing as well, which is just an added benefit, really. And I think that's where some chem styles can add that almost third dimension to a card. He's not now just somebody who can shoot and you put him in front of goal. You got a little bit of passing from him. Not saying he's going to be the next Xavi, but most definitely he's got a little look into pass in there. Whereas having a Hunter literally renders him useless again with passing. Vieri, right foot across goal, and oh no. Oh, Vieri. Again, Lafont saving him. It's a beautiful turn. He absolutely sells the defender. But unfortunately, Lafont is on his game at the moment. 90th minute. 1-0 down. Vieri needs to step up. 86 penalty. What can we find? I'm going to go bottom left. Sinks it. Lovely stuff. We're going into the overall for Vieri then. Still coming in about 280 across the board, a few different prices. If you went into the market sales, we won't do this in every single review, but you can kind of see the differences. You see a 250, 270 a few hours ago, well, a couple of days ago, then you obviously 250. So he is kind of chilling around about the same. You see a 285, a 290. It all depends on kind of literally the time of day, what day you do it, and just is there people selling? Sometimes it is that there's just not many people listing them. They're still a very unique card to get. They've not been out long, so the supply of them is not in the masses. We've definitely got a lot of them, but still, we haven't got pages upon pages of him, and he is technically the easier one to pack, and obviously they are very difficult indeed. I've only had one icon this year, and some people probably haven't had icons throughout the whole of FIFA, really. There's some people that have gone years without icons, and even then, they still open up a good amount of packs to probably consist of one, whereas I've seen some people get 5 or 6. All depends on, obviously, the look. With him, then, I think most definitely a very decent striker in comparison to Inzaghi. I just want to double check a few things with him because, like I say, we have got very, very similar in everything. If we look at the information, both of them are the same sort of height, obviously, two inches more on the Vieri front, which is not bad at all. Same weak foot and skill move, again, 92, 91. We both are the same age as well. That's actually nuts. Are they? Oh no, they're at. I was going to say, I thought their birthdays were the same as well. I was like, Christ, how have I not know that one? But in terms of kind of just naturally how they are, I think they are both very, very similar in every pretty much aspect. Pace-wise, again, it's not necessarily masses amounts. With a Hunter, with an engine, you're going to get a decent amount. Finishing is pretty much the same, and you can definitely see it. I think the one thing that I definitely found better in terms of heading, just because we really kind of dug in for it, is Vieri was up in the air quite a lot in corners. So that again is something that I think Inzaghi wasn't put on there, mainly probably because of his height, so it's always a nice benefit. And like I say, both of them are pretty much the same card. I would probably tip Vieri to win it, just purely for the fact that he does get in on the corners, and that's really about it, because literally, like I say, you whack an engine on both of them, which I believe an engine is the chemistry style for both, you are getting almost a carbon copy. Same skill move, same weak foot. The only difference really is maybe a couple of stats here or there, and the height. exactly the same. So in terms of this, I think Vieri definitely coming in just a little bit higher than Inzaghi. Definitely doing a good amount of work. He seemed like he could hold the ball quite well. Yes, not necessarily the most pacey striker in the world, but that's what we knew from the get-go. He wasn't necessarily going to be this Mbappe type. He was going to hold the ball well, get a bit of passing off, especially with that increase in the passing with the engine. He's going to be able to make the runs, get the shots off, and get headers. And I think he did exactly that. So for me, 280... it's an absolute steal for a moment. I can imagine they will drop down even further as the weeks and months go on, just purely for the fact that that is the whole point. Once we get to Team of the Season, we'll get even better cards and a very, very consistent amount of them every single day, week. We're going to get 6-7 weeks of 90 plus cards. So that's when really he will fall by the waistline. And then as we go into the moments pack, that's again when we're really going to see the dip in these moments. But overall for me, I think he did the job. Again, very an average striker, but he did what was kind of wanted of him. Shooting was decent, pace was okay, passing was okay, dribbling actually surprisingly nice, not necessarily going round players, but more just holding the ball and keeping it safe as such, and that's mixed in with his strength, and heading was decent, so I can't really argue with him. The improvements that I'd kind of want is maybe for him to feel a little bit more agile or kind of a bit more pacey, but again, that's his body type change entirely, and that just isn't happening. Other than that, maybe a skill move upgrade, and that's it. He's got decent stats in the positions you want him, and it is literally just animations, pace, and skill moves. So for me, not a bad striker, not going to fit your main team, but definitely an Italian team. You can't really argue for the cheapness of him. Let me know down below what you think about him. Make sure you do like and subscribe, and overall, I'm going to give him a flat 9.